Scholars, this video is about formatting and quotations in a paper. So you got your paper ready to go. You put a lot of work into it. You want to make sure that your audience sees it in the form that it's supposed to be in. And these little small details they can have a great impact on a reader because they make it seem like you know what you're talking about, which of course you do. So first things first, I'm going to put in my name. So, because like I don't have my name on my paper. You'd be surprised how many papers I get with no name. So my name is Abdel Shakur, but you put in your name. The next thing is to put the name of the class. I'm writing this for a sophomore writing workshop, but it could be freshman, whatever the class name is. Maybe it's freshman English Humanities. Then I'm going to put in the instructor, who is Mr. Shakur. And then I'm going to put in the date, and the date that I'm turning in this final draft is going to be on September 26th. Okay, so then I highlight this because one of the things that I've asked you to do is to justify your heading to the right because I like it looking like that. Okay, you can put a little space in there, and then you're going to need a title. Every paper a title, every child a name. And mine was Into the Lion's Den. And I justified it in the middle, as you can see, because I used that middle justify. If you want to bold it, that's cool. You want to make it a little bigger, that's fine. Don't make it huge. This whole paper should be it should be Times New Roman 12-point font. So if I'm going to make it Times New Roman 12-point font, I'm going to select the whole text. And I'm going to click over here on font. I'm going to put Times. And I put 12-point. Okay. Then I'm going to go back up. And all right, so that's looking good. I might put one more space in there. Then I want this to all be indented so that I think I asked that your papers be indented 1/2 inch. So I select the whole thing again. And I go up here to this bar up here and I drag it over to like the half mark. Cool thing about that is that then every time I start a new paragraph, then it will actually give me a little room in between here. You also notice that this is not double spaced yet, so I need to highlight again. And I'll go up here to spacing. And I'll put double. And we'll double space. Okay. So my heading's looking sharp. I got my title. I'm double spaced. I do have some dialogue in here, though. And with dialogue, there's a few rules to keep in mind. One is that dialogue usually has you start a new line for every line of dialogue that you use. So, "Are you Abdel?" she said. And then I speak back to her. Boom, new line. "Yes, that's me. I'm sorry for being late." Then there's a new line. "We were just discussing the syllabus," she said. She laid the syllabus down with a smack. So you can do it either way. You could start a new line here because there's some action, or I think you could even just keep it like this. But the important thing is that every new line of dialogue needs as a new speaker comes in, they need to have a new their own line. Okay. Another thing that you can do with dialogue, let's say I wanted to add, let's say her full line was, "Are you Abdel? I was just taking the role." I could break it up. I could say, "Are you Abdel?" she said. "I was just taking attendance." Boom. And so when you do it like that, we know that she's still speaking. It just breaks up the rhythm of her speaking. And sometimes that's a nice way if you got people talking back and forth, it's kind of nice sometimes to break the rhythm of the she said, he said, she said, he said. And you can do it by writing that line of dialogue right after she said. Okay. I think that's it. In terms of last minute details, you want to do a spell check. Make sure your stuff is spelled right, and we'll talk about last minute editing advice. Okay, but that is the formatting stuff that you need to do.